We are now live. I'll grab the link and text it to you. Are you going home at all before the season starts?
I'm going to go home for like 2 days during our break we get for the 4th of July. Yeah, most of the coaches will be out here, I think, by Saturday or by today.
No, they got official visitors.
Today? I don't know. I didn't see anyone this morning.
They're probably on campus, most of them. Maybe some will leave today if they got done with their visits. But I think most will probably be on campus until Sunday afternoon. But they get the official visitors out before noon, so those guys, it'll be like a half day if they do.
No, it's exciting times though.
And I think they got like eight visitors on campus right now. June is kind of the new November, December because of early signing period and just everything being sped up. And then with them allowing official visits in the summer, a lot of kids are just ready to make their decision before their senior year. So this is kind of like crunch time for recruiting.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
This is the new December, January, June, July.
Let me put out on Big Man Big Heart as well.
Man,
we haven't seen each other in a while, bud.
Yeah, I know. I think, like I said, life has been so crazy. I don't even realize how long it's been until we sit down across from each other, and it's like, oh, damn.
Yeah, things have changed. It's been more than a year now. I've been at FSU for more than a year.
Yeah, you enrolled like June 12th, if I remember correctly. I can't remember what my girlfriend told me we're going to do today, but I can remember recruits' heights and weights, and I can remember when Dillan Gibbons enrolled at Florida State. The things that our mind like chooses to remember is crazy.
Yeah. The only important things, right?
Yeah. Like, seriously, I can tell you like the height and weight of a kid that I covered 11 years ago coming out of high school, but I can't tell you what I ate for dinner like 3 nights ago. That just means that I must be doing the right thing. Like, my brain, that's the type of stuff my brain remembers. So
only the important stuff.
Yeah, I must be doing the right thing. I'm heading over to Tampa tonight with my family. We're going to Hyde Park. Have you eaten at that new place called Meat Market?
Yeah, man, that place is awesome.
We were unable to get a res because we're leaving in a week, so my parents wanted to do something. We were unable to get a res at Burns, but we got somebody hooked us up at Meat Market.
Oh, that's a place, man. It's I know I'm a big Burns guy, and like, of course, we've been there a few times and had some fun. Riley's paid a couple times; it's always great. But yeah, we had a similar situation. I forget what time of year it was, but this was like a few months ago, maybe. I was home, and I was like, oh, I'd love to go to Burns, take my fiance there, and have a good time. Well, the whole family wanted to go too. So my brother ended up actually reaching out to one of his friends that lives in St. Pete, lives in Tampa, and works and always goes to Meat Market. And we got a back number for somebody at Meat Market, called them, and they said no issue. They put us in a really nice table, and we had a great experience. One of the most tastiest steaks I've had in a while. Great little things, to munch on, the appetizers.
I'm looking forward to it. We had a late breakfast, and we're gonna go clear to. I think we got a 6:30 or 7 o'clock reservation, so I'm gonna go there with an appetite, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, and it's a real nice setup too, and the restaurant's absolutely beautiful and a great ambiance and good service. So can't really ask for anything much, especially in Hyde Park. Like, that's awesome. It's just just right.
It looks really cool. I've been by it numerous times. It goes pretty crazy for brunch.
Really?
Yeah, you go there on the weekends at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They got the DJ going. They got all the windows open to the whole restaurant. Like, they're partying.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, so, I like Hyde Park though. I love Bar Taco. Big Bar Taco guy.
It's a great one. They need one up in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it was odd. I haven't been to one. At least I didn't go to one for like 4 years when I was up north. Right. I didn't love Bar Taco that much. Right. I came back down here, and when we were in Philly, there was actually a Bar Taco in Philly, like just random places like that. So
there are
one in Tallahassee. Same with like a PF Chang's or something like that too. But
All right, let's get this thing started. I'm just going to ask you some questions.
Nice.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Big Man, Big Heart with Dillan Gibbons. I am your host, Josh Newberg. This is episode 28. We are coming to you on a Saturday afternoon. It's been, I think, exactly 2 months since we recorded our last episode. It doesn't seem that long, but it's the off season. Things get away from us, but it's great to be back. Dillan, how you doing?
I'm happy to see you after our 2-month-long hiatus. But yeah, it's been absolutely great. I mean, a lot's gone on in the past couple months since we started this podcast back up again. But yeah, I can't wait to get into it. I'm glad you're doing well. Of course, you've made a transition, and same for me. I mean, we're getting through summer ball, having a good time, working out real hard, and attacking every aspect of our lives. So
yeah, we're going to get to that. We were going to tape last Saturday, but you pleaded for a little bit more time to study for exams. You were knee deep in exams. We're a week removed from that. How did it go? What did you?
If I was knee deep back then, I'm shin deep right now. I'm still
in it.
Yeah.
I thought it's exam week, not exam month.
You wish. I'm taking 2 classes for the MBA program right now over the summer. They're condensed courses, so basically everything's an exam, right? Because we have these large format quizzes and then also midterm exams, which is confusing. But I'm in a real estate investment course right now. It's real fun. I like it, but it does, take a lot of my time. I'm the kind of person that if I'm given a bank of 150 example problems, right, I'm told to, only go through like 30. I'm going to do all 150 beforehand. And that's where I found myself at this point, where I'm just zombieing away, staring at this screen in front of me right now, cranking them out throughout days, hours, weekends. It doesn't matter. That's what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks.
So this is a summer semester class.
It's a summer semester class, and I actually am in one in-person class, which is my first real in-person class in the MBA program, which is a global marketing type class, which is interesting. It's way different than anything else I've experienced so far. It's all based off a marketing simulation where we're all put into groups, right? First of all, it's interesting because I haven't met anybody in person yet for my MBA program. There's a few individuals around our facilities that are in the program that I get to see, hang out with. A few people I've met classes and group projects with over Zoom. But being in person is different, especially because it's a 3.5-hour course starting at 5:30 on Thursdays. So it's a lot of time to be together with people. You get to know them pretty well. And the whole class is super passionate about the project. We're basically pretending like we're starting our own bike companies. And we're competing against everybody in the class using it's called Marketplace. It's a simulation program. You just pull it up on any computer. And it's been pretty fun. I definitely enjoyed the class so far, and look forward to dominating all my opponents.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was a business management major, and this is crazy, but probably in 2005, we did a very similar project. We all logged into a simulation. We were all groups of 4, and you compete. I think there was maybe 6 teams, and we were just making widgets. It was just whatever. And kind of the same deal. I wonder if it's a different generation of that same program.
I guarantee it. I mean, every year they roll out a different product that they offer. So as a school, you have to buy each simulation. This one is for bikes. So it's basically you start with a base bike, whatever it might be. You build out the brands, all the advertising, things of that nature. Then you get a chance to upgrade them. So this Thursday, we're actually going to be in front of a few different business owners here in Tallahassee, and they're going to have a fake $2 million to give each group or allocate. So it's almost like a Shark Tank type pitch. So it's pretty fun. It's engaging. I enjoy it. I could spend a lot of time on it, but Lord knows I don't have much time. And I've tried to do my best at being selfish with my time lately and spend as much time as I can, pushing for that NFL dream.
Speaking of time, what time of year is it for the football program? Because I know organized drills are kind of over. Are we in this little purgatory right before fall camp where you guys are kind of on your own right now?
So we're getting there. I mean, next week we have a reasonable amount of time off, right? We almost have 5 days, which is incredible. I can't ask for anything better. But for me, that's not off time, right? It's an option, right? You have to make a decision around that time, and it's gonna be nice to get home for a few days. But I'm getting into it. As far as the summer training session goes, just to give you guys perspective, usually what happens over a training progression, if you're strictly talking about weights and running, you get to a peak, right? You get to a peak, and then the peak comes off right before you get to camp, right? It's getting guys acclimated, it's getting guys ready. It's building up those numbers in the weight room and then switching from low reps, high weight back down to low weight, high reps, right? And that's right where we are. We're right at the top of that peak. So this week, like in the weight room, for instance, we were hitting some very, very high numbers on bench and squat, power clean, all those good things. Our running, our volume was up like crazy, which is all great. I mean, we did a great job and finished out the week really strong, pushing a 4-man sled and teams of 4. It's awesome. I mean, I love that stuff. But it also is a good indication that fall camp is here, right? We're basically 8 weeks out from season, from our first game. And, it's some exciting times, right? Most people, and I don't know, in past years, I know a lot of guys that get nervous when you're getting up to camp, right? But I have a full understanding of our offense. I understand our position group better than anybody other than Coach Atkins and Coop and Coach Fertitta. And I'm extremely excited to get into it this season. Big old storm here in Tallahassee.
Nice. I hear that rolling in. Nice.
But yeah, it's been an incredible off season for me, for my conditioning, for just getting bigger and stronger, hitting some very, very high numbers for my 1-rep max on bench and back squat and things of that nature. So we're all really excited, juiced up. As you've seen, we've had some really interesting things happen in the O-line room. What is your take on what's going on right now in the offensive line room?
They're addressing issues with numbers. And I think in the past, Florida State has dabbled in the transfer portal and probably ended up coming away with not that less quality, but probably just less numbers than they really wanted to on offensive line. And you saw this year, Florida State made an effort to bring in, guys like Bless Harris and Caden Lyles in early. And then we got another addition to the offensive line, Dimitri. He's from Charlotte. I don't have everything in front of me. I don't cover Florida State anymore. I'm retired, so I don't know his full name. But you guys have 3 new additions to the offensive line group. So how is that? How's that factoring into the offense?
Did you hear about Jazz?
Oh, 4.
Yeah, so we have 23 offensive linemen. 23.
Have you been in an offensive line room that big?
No, never in my life. The most I've ever, so at Notre Dame, for instance, we went through a spring once. We had like 12 guys, right? It's ebbed and flowed, right? In the following year, of course, we brought in 4 scholarship players and maybe another walk-on. But I've never been in a group that had more than 20 guys on it. 23, that's a very large number. You're fitting every seat in our whole offensive line room up.
Right.
It does a few things, right? If you're talking about the guys that are coming here for a 1-year transfer, right? Those guys, this is going to be their money year, right? They're all expecting to come in, hypothetically learn the offense, hypothetically earn a position and show it out there and make sure everybody in the room knows who they are.
Shut up.
What's been pretty cool about this process is, the coaches, they could have brought in a lot of different players from the transfer portal, promised them the world, and, just said, I don't really care about the other guys in my group. They're not good enough at football. They're not going to be contributing for me this year. I mean, who cares about their feelings or emotions? What they've done is interesting. They've, of course, given these guys a chance, right? And letting them come into Florida State and giving them an opportunity, give them a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
But they've left it up to the other guys' hands, right? These guys are not going to be, like, hypothetically, and this has been said in our offensive line room, if we have a player that is of equal, right, or even slightly greater than talent to one of our current players, we brought in the transfer portal, they're not going to play, right? That player has to be significantly better, much more dominant offensive lineman, know the playbook better, and fit in better with the guys, right? So that's the only way you're going to play. So if you were a transfer coming in and you're of similar skill, similar talent, similar of recognition of our offense and what's happening on the football field, there's a guy that's already been here, right? That someone's been here for a couple of years, or maybe even just a freshman that got brought in this year. They're going to play over you. So it's been interesting, right? You're forcing people to make a decision, right? To grow up, to become a lot smarter offensive lineman, take more pride in it, and obviously just having that many bodies in the room, right, brings everybody a sense of urgency. But you're also at the same time elevating the depth of our chart, right? You won't have to move guys around as much. You'll have guys like, I don't know, Robert Scott and a few other guys you can mention from last year that move around different positions. They'll be able to stay in the same damn position, right? Because they might be the first, like the best tackle we might have, right? And sure, if someone went down, they might have to move over. But at the same time, you'll hopefully have guys developing. So we'll have more of a 1 and 2 group and less of a 1+ group,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's still, we're still kind of the lane of opportunity right here at Florida State, which is interesting, right? Because right now we have a lot of offensive linemen, but not a lot of secure spots. So it'll be really cool to see as things narrow down. Guys are already, pinpointing themselves out from the group when we're doing conditioning and running and the drill work that we do. More of the recognition of learning the plays really early. It's been impressive, especially some of the young guys, some of the true freshmen coming in. But yeah, again, you don't really know anything till we get to camp, right? We go back through the installs, and if you don't know at that point, then you're screwed, and you're going to be on scout team. So
yeah, at that point, it's a little bit,
Yeah.
it's a little bit too late. Are there enough seats in the film room for all you guys? Or are you bringing in like temporary seating?
A lot of hot air, let me tell you. But yeah, we have enough seats. We have a bunch of rows in there, and it's a good setup. But yeah, it's been awesome to have that many guys in there filling all those seats up, so we no longer have a space in between each guy.
Yeah, it's a unique year. So is this like the time of year where the guys are doing 7-on-7s and you guys are kind of working out without the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's a different schedule, right? And I'm not sure what the rationale was, right? But I'm not sure exactly what governing body decided it. But so normally, like for instance, when I was up north, you would have like a real, PRP, right? And the fact that you'd go out there, you do some conditioning, and then you'd have a PRP. It was a player run practice where it was just the players coaching the players. But we're allowed to have the coaches out there. So what we'll do on our Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll go out to the field, we'll warm up 15, 20 minutes. We'll get out there and we'll be with our coaches for just around 25 to 30 minutes, right? We'll have some individual periods. We'll have some group periods. And what's really cool about this year is we get to snap a football. So we have our center snapping footballs. Our quarterbacks are catching the ball. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing in 7-on-7 right now because we spend all our time outside while they're inside enjoying the AC. But for the most part, it's some very productive times. Of course, the rationale, you're not allowed, as an offensive lineman right now, we're not allowed to punch each other, right? We're not allowed to block against each other. That's something that they have. While the coaches are out there, we can't necessarily be, touching each other because it would turn into almost like a full speed walkthrough at that point.
Right.
So it makes sense. There's some limits. But then we get into a traditional PRP after that, 30 to 25 minutes. The traditional PRP is around 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And we get to, hone in our craft, to work on some things that we need to work on, allowing some of the younger guys to run through some plays on air. And then we get into a conditioning. And the conditioning is usually around 30 to 45 minutes. So it's a really, really nice schedule. That's usually in the evenings. Every day of the week, we're working out and running or doing some type of change of direction, cutting or a competition style drill. So it's been a really nice summer. It's a great schedule for me. I get to spend the whole day at the facility, literally from 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. And that's not mandatory hours. That's me learning football, defensive identification, helping some younger guys. I try to make myself as available as possible to develop the group as much as I possibly can while I'm still here at Florida State. So I divided my life into 15-minute increments. So when I'm not working on schoolwork or developing the younger guys, I get some free time to work on things like Big Man Big Heart and my ambitions and some of the things I like partaking in, like watching YouTube and things like that.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into Big Man Big Heart in a second. I'm gonna take a question from our YouTube stream. Double Fries No Slaw wants to know, I need to know if Dillan Gibbons watched the Bolts last night or cares about hockey.
So I do care about hockey. I am not engaged with hockey right now. And I'm not engaged with many professional sports other than football, if I'm being completely honest. I was a big sports guy growing up, right? I actually grew up next to the assistant head coach of the Lightning for a while. And we used to get in trouble when we were little kids because we'd strap on his dad's skates and go skate with our neighbors. Street skating, like it was terrifying. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just having fun as a little kid, but I didn't recognize how you're supposed to be wearing a helmet and all the pads and everything. So I'd always come home bruised up and bleeding and all that stuff. I love hockey. When I came into Notre Dame back in my freshman year in 2017, we got put in a really, really nice dorm, right? And there's no Greek life or fraternity, so everything's dorm housing up there at South Bend. And inside that dorm, it was just the football team, right? And then the hockey team. So all the freshmen from the hockey team and all the freshmen for the football team were like intermingled basically. A lot of those guys were like 24, 26 years old, freshmen at Notre Dame. just bad dudes, right? Gaps in their teeth, gritty dudes. One of the guys is like 6'7", almost like 300 pounds, like an offensive lineman. But I got to see all those guys now, and they're playing professional hockey in Canada, and it's pretty damn cool to see that process. We went to a few games in South Bend, but for the most part, even while I'm here, I've tried to, structure my life in a way where I eliminate distractions, and I obsess about other sports, right? Talking about hockey, talking about golf, talking about basketball. Like, I could watch that stuff all day, but I don't necessarily have the time right now. So I try to limit what I bring in and what I intake as far as that kind of stuff.
I think you would love the Stanley Cup Finals that's taking place right now. As you know, the Lightning are back-to-back world champions. They're down 3-2 in this series, and they were down 3-1. They've forced overtime in 2 of their losses. They are clearly the fading champion, and I mean, this is their 3rd Stanley Cup in a row, but they are facing a team that is built just like them but younger, and everything comes to an end at some time. But the reason I say you would like this matchup is because the Lightning are doing this purely on heart and grit and experience and confidence and just not panicking. And they're probably going to lose this series, but to think that they made it back to the Stanley Cup, that they forced 2 overtimes, that it's 3-2 right now, I think you would really appreciate the way that these guys are competing right now, and on both sides. I mean, they're both 2 really good teams, and they play really hard. And playoff hockey is just like the ultimate team sport. One guy goes down, it means more ice time for everybody else. So everybody's playing injured. Everybody's doing whatever they can just to help the team. And the Lightning are like the ultimate team's team, Yeah. So it's Sunday night will be game 6.
Yeah, I've been extremely jealous. Griffin Allstott, he's been going to all the games. He sent me all Snapchats and stuff. But yeah, we used to go to a bunch of Lightning games when I was a kid. My mom always got tickets through a law firm. So Dillan Gibbons law shout out. But at the same time, yeah, that's absolutely incredible though, and I'll definitely try to watch some games this weekend.
And you got the playoff beard. Like, you have the ultimate playoff beard.
I've been doing it for a while, man. I'm just trying to get there. But yeah, the beard's going strong. I got a haircut yesterday and got it trimmed up a little bit, but it's definitely gonna be interesting this season. My beard was not anywhere close to this length last season. It looked big, but it wasn't this long.
Is Caden growing his out too? Because I know Caden's got a little stuff growing off his chin.
No question. We both look like we're 30 years old. It's gonna be great. I don't know what I would think if I was a defensive lineman and the left guard in the center had like 12-inch beards.
No chance we can get Robert Scott to grow one.
We'll look like a group of wizards out there. It'd be great. But yeah, Robert Scott, he's been working on it, man. We've been giving all the tips of the trade, man.
That's good. All right. Give us the latest on Big Man, Big Heart.
Oh my gosh. A lot has gone on.
So much to catch up on.
Our last conversation. I could bring you back through the internship I had with Amazon. We'll talk about that in a little bit, maybe another episode. But I learned a bunch of tips from there. Applied them to a lot of what I'm
just
doing.
Real quick. You went up to New York City and you did a week-long internship with Amazon. We can get more into it if you want, but
yeah, I did.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I did a small tech internship, something I never really thought I'd be getting into. Long story short, I DM'd the CTO of Amazon, an individual named Jonathan Finch, back in August, and I pitched him on the idea of allowing me to run a pilot program for Amazon. What ended up happening was that he responded directly, and we had a couple conversations. We talked about every month since August, and ended up developing the program. Put up a couple PowerPoint decks. They use something called a PR FAQ, which is like how they basically pitch a new product or a new program for Amazon. It's a press release, right? So a normal press release you'd see, like, I don't know, if you're releasing this product for Amazon, and then frequently asked questions. So it's a 2-page document, super simplistic. They're not a big PowerPoint company at Amazon. So that's something I prepared beforehand. Went ahead and pitched it, ran with the program. It was a week-long internship program right across from the Empire State Building in New York City. I got to spend a lot of time with my fiance during that week. She's a trader for Goldman Sachs. It was an incredible experience. I was shadowing basically, different product and program managers in the Treasury Tech Department each day, learning from them some of the insights of their job. A lot of what I studied in management consulting at Notre Dame, and a lot of what I learn right now in the MBA program here at Florida State, it's hard to apply, right, on a day-to-day basis. A lot of what you get in consulting or in anything in management is just a framework. It's a style, right? And that framework
Mm-hmm.
goes into the smallest details of life, and that's what you apply, and that's how you manage groups of people, right? Well, it's fun to see all these different frameworks coming together, right? Amazon has their frameworks they hold to heart, but at the same time, each of these employees is deploying a different management style. And that's something I've come into my own here at Florida State with. So that was a great developmental period for me. Again, it's a Treasury Tech department. So basically, they're coming up with creative ideas of how to simplify the lives of the employees of Amazon, right? Inward facing, not necessarily to us, on Amazon Prime, ordering packages to our door, but to the individuals in the finance department at Amazon. Individuals all across the board that struggle with some of the rudimentary tasks involved in accounting, finance, all those things. So it's really cool, especially when you're talking about these high-level topics. I had a few different classes in JavaScript, R, just different forms of coding. I did data management, data visualization, a whole class on Tableau at Notre Dame. So all those tools that I had at my disposal at Notre Dame that I was able to, apply to Big Man, Big Heart are exactly what these individuals use on a day-to-day basis, even though it's a completely different product. So I did my best. I tried to represent my family the best way I possibly could. I was very prepared and presented well. At the end of my experience, I was kind of quasi offered a job by Amazon. So it's as a senior product or senior program management. It'd be a great opportunity for me, especially, hypothetically down the line when I'm done playing in the NFL. But it's a cool job because you can work it anywhere in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Treasury, the whole Treasury Tech team right now is online. Most of them haven't even met everybody in person yet. So it'd be a cool opportunity, right, to be hypothetically in a random place in the country, wherever I'm done playing in the NFL, to be able to work from home and make a significant amount of money and have a great quality of life.
Well, that's awesome. What about the charity itself? You got anything going on? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. So long story short, the last time we had a podcast, we're planning an event, right? The Faith Family Football and Fishing event. We talked about why it got canceled. That was a sad day for me, right? I put a lot of effort into it. We had about $15,000 in supplies raised, an RV to give away, and a bunch of other things, right, to bring to this event. That was going to be 45 FABC officers, 45 kids from the Boys and Girls Club, and 45 football players here at Florida State. So we're still in the conversation right now at the FWC. Like I said, I had a conversation with Director Sutton from the FWC. He offered the full support of everybody they have under their disposal. So I've been back and forth with them. We're trying to indicate the best possible, lake or youth conservation here around Tallahassee or even back home in St. Pete. We'll be able to run this event at. Joe Budd Youth Conservation will probably be closed for about a year. So what I first did, I took a step back, right, and I tried to find some alumni in our area that have a connection to either a public park or even their own pond, right? That brought me to Ted Turner, to Bo Turner. Bo Turner Youth Conservation. Ted Turner is a huge name. They own a whole bunch of basically conservations throughout the country, a lot of pieces of land that they dedicate to different species and different causes. Well, Bo Turner, about 30 minutes away from Tallahassee, there's a youth conservation that he runs, and I ended up contacting them. We're in the works right now. That could be a great spot. We're worried about some of the insurance, right? And having that many kids and that many officers and that many football players together, you have to have a pretty big policy. So that could be an option. But again, we're working with them. They're a great resource to have. They offer their full support as well to Big Man, Big Heart. So it's awesome to be working with these wonderful people. And of course, the FWC is doing a great job. We have some interesting things planned with Big Man, Big Heart, right? Some great programming coming up in the season, which I look forward to sharing with everybody. I can't right now, but just know we have some of our biggest things that we haven't, that we have done yet are going to be coming up here pretty soon. Working with some different groups here in Tallahassee. I can't say it yet. I wish I could, man. But and be able to provide some awesome experiences for some fans and getting some kids involved. Something funny that popped up, I'll tell you this, and you guys can check it out on TikTok. I'm not a big TikTok guy, right? I don't really come across as one, I don't think.
You never know these days.
But yeah, you can't trust people. But my twin sister Delaney, she runs my TikTok for me, and she does a wonderful job with it. Has brought in almost millions of views at this point, hundreds of thousands of likes, and I just have to take quick videos of myself. So I was actually awarded the Starfish Award, which is right here. incredible
Okay.
honor, right? I heard about this once before. And it was before I even started Big Man Big Heart, right? It's off of like an old story, right? There's a little girl walking down the beach. She's chucking starfish back into the surf, right? They're washing up. And someone walks up to her and they're like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And there's so many, you won't be able to save them all. And she said, "I'm just trying to save as many as I can," basically. That's how the Starfish Award came to be. But I was honored with that by the Boys and Girls Club about a few weeks ago. So while I was sitting there, I met a little girl and a little boy. Right, as it turned out, I'm not going to give you guys a name because that's odd. I don't really want to share a child's name. But the little girl, Delaney found her on TikTok. Right, she made Delaney follow her on my account, her account. Well, the little girl posted a TikTok. Was like, "Oh, this nice football player named it was like some random name. She forgot my name, of course. I met him and he gave me this football. I gave her a big football, well signed and everything. And I saw that, right? I was like, oh, that's incredible. So I ended up filming a video myself and I offered her and another individual, so two more people, tickets to the games. So that's something I hope to be able to keep doing. The TikTok got like a couple 100,000 likes or whatever it was, but pretty cool experience though, to be able to meet somebody in person, hear about their day-to-day struggles, be awarded at an event, and then on the back end reconnect with that person and be able to provide a great experience for them.
Yeah.
Really internally cool. In our team, we have a story we'll hopefully be releasing here in the next couple of days about an individual that recently transferred to Florida State that's going through a tough time right now. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting programming. I mean, just backing up a little bit, we never really talked about Bodie Hulk, right? And what exactly happened with that. It was a little kid, part of the USF family, ended up being diagnosed with cancer a few weeks ago. Kind of a crazy story, right? I've been able to interact now with two families that had kids that were diagnosed with cancer, and it doesn't, get easy. But his story is going pretty well. He's been doing pretty good. Been in and out of the hospital, but his spirits are very high. Every single day, his dad posts his joke of the day, right? So Hulk's sitting there and he'll give a little joke. Long story short, he was playing football. He was playing little league football one day. Started feeling a little bit ill, right? His parents didn't really know what was happening. Started developing some spots around his body, and they ended up bringing him to a family member that was a nurse, and the nurse immediately knew what was happening. So they took him in and figured out that he had a form of cancer. At first, they were really concerned because they thought it was a relatively rare form of cancer. As it turns out, it's one of the more common terms. In about 2 weeks, he went into remission, and he's doing okay now. But I released that GoFundMe, I think maybe a month ago, right around when I was going to Amazon to do that internship. But yeah, we've had some absolutely incredible individuals, right? The stories that these people have been telling me, and the stories that I draw inspiration from on a day-to-day basis. When people go and play college football or go and play sports or just go into life, they have motivation. They have a story behind them, right? They have a family member that wanted them to succeed. They had somebody in their corner, making them want to do something. A lot of people might only have, one or two pieces of inspiration like that are that deeply rooted, that deeply seated. But for me, having the blessing to be able to tell this many people's stories, to be able to hear the intricacies of their lives and their day-to-day struggles, that has given me the most motivation I could possibly ask for. It's absolutely crazy what that's done to me in my life and my productivity, but also in the impact of society and helping people, not only directly helping individuals and helping families, but the effect that happens on the back end of it, right? Individuals drawing inspiration on a college athlete going out of their way to do that. It's incredibly humbling. And again, I'm just trying to do as much as I can, right, by putting emphasis on football, right? Football is the biggest piece of my puzzle, right? In my puzzle, there's football, there's the NBA program, there's Big Man Big Heart. All of them are contingent on me continuing my career in football. And that's what I've been doing. I've been working my hardest as I possibly can in the weight room, on the field with Coach Storms, in the training room, getting ahead on prehab and rehab, being as healthy as I possibly can, and as technical a football player as I can. Just trying to physically dominate guys and be the most intelligent guy in the field at the same time. And it's a day-to-day, it's not a struggle. It's something I love doing. It's something I'm absolutely attacking with every inch of effort I possibly can.
It's awesome. It's great to see. And if anybody's listening out there that wants to contribute, they can go to bigmanbigheart.com. Everything that Dillan does is up there. All the GoFundMe's are there. Anything new that gets put up, Dylan will post on bigmanbigheart.com. So you guys can go there and check it all out.
It's a blessing to have backwards hat Josh today, man.
Well, it's just this hair.
I'm kidding. Your hair's growing out, man.
Yeah, it does that.
So what's new with you? What's new with you?
What's new with me? I quit my job on May 1st. What are we, almost to July 1st?
Bold.
And much like you, I have some big things in the works that I can't really talk about just yet, but I'm very excited to. I'm in the process of moving.
Yeah.
Dillan, I am 39 years old, and I have lived outside of going to Florida State for 5 years. I have lived in the Tampa Bay area my entire life. So I am currently packing up, moving to a destination that we'll speak of in the future, and starting a new career. So I've got a lot going on. I've got a little bit more time to enjoy my summer and make the move. And in a couple months, I'll be prepared to speak more about it in detail.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty exciting. I mean, as far as moving goes, do you have a lot of junk? Are you guys consolidating? What's your plan? Do you think this will be a permanent location for a few years, or?
Well, unbeknownst to us, we bought a home 16 months ago now, 17 months ago. And when we moved in, we didn't expect to be moving out so quickly, but we consolidated a lot when we moved in. But I will say one thing about the move that's been fun is Allison has been just throwing stuff up on Facebook Marketplace.
That's fun.
That we don't really care to bring. And we're just like making 20, 25 bucks here and there. But like, it's been fun getting rid of stuff and getting a little bit of money for it.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. Where exactly do you live in St. Pete? I've never asked you this.
I've mainly lived in downtown. I lived in Kenwood prior to moving. I live in the Crescent Lake area. So, just about 20 blocks outside of downtown.
Not shabby. Do you pay attention a lot to the high school football going around in the area?
I used to. I have not recently. I mean, it's the same dynamics. It's, you got Lakewood on the south side of the county that really kind of holds it down while the other programs flail. I mean, I went to Boca Ciega, so I can speak on South County football down here. It's just there's not a lot being played in South County. And then you got North County. You have the Powers, up in Clearwater and CCC and those programs. But still no state championships for the county of Pinellas.
That's crazy, right?
Isn't it?
I mean, Northside Christian, I mean, Griffin talks the talk, man. He's coaching there right now, and he's doing a couple other things too. Of course, they're in the off season, so he's not doing much. But I actually got to spend some time at CCC when I was home during our extended little summer break after spring football and all that.
Yeah.
CCC is crazy. I mean, like when I went there, the facilities, they were nice, right? They were better accommodating than the other school I went to. I went to 4 different schools, high schools. Mm-hmm. They had a brand new weight room when I got there. Well, they just got a brand new weight room, turned basically our whole old football facility into a training complex, and then built out a whole nother training complex for the football team. So it's a whole nother locker room, coaching suite. I've never seen this in high school football. I mean, at the other schools I was at, I'm not going to name names, but early on, I mean, most of what we learned as far as actual football play and learning plays was done on a wristband, right? We were given a number, we flipped that wristband open, and we knew what to block, right? And that's not how you prepare somebody to go play Division I football. Riley was he's a really smart guy, so he picked it up like that, right? When he went out to Stanford, when he was at USF. But for a lot of people, I can imagine not learning conceptual football and just going out there and blocking people. I mean, that's not high school football is about that, but at the same time, you have to be learning, you have to be educated. CCC has like a full room dedicated to actual learning, right? It's like there's probably like 13 rows of seats. The players get to sit there. Coach Harvey gets to get up front, and it's an incredible facility. I'm absolutely stunned. They've been recently sponsored by Jordan, one of the only major teams in the state of Florida that's going to be sponsored by Jordan. They just put in a brand new turf field. They're redoing the bleachers as we speak. So it's a gorgeous facility, and I'd expect them to be quite the powerhouse here in the next couple of years. A bunch of their guys just randomly followed me. They're doing a pretty interesting job. I don't know about you. I haven't, I've been out of the whole recruiting process. Even in the transfer portal, I didn't really do much of it. But in each one of these guys that followed me, it had their number, their name, every position they could possibly play, their measurables, their email address, and their cell phone number in their bio, right? Which must have been a conversation they had as a full team, or else they wouldn't all have the same exact thing. And then they also have Coach Harvey's email address. If you go
and
through
they probably have their whole name written out, like exactly how it should be first and last.
They don't have random usernames. It's their first, last.
But here's the thing. Here's how you know they're good. Like you got those guys, but then you have like No Fly Zone 5, and he is being recruited by everybody in the country and doesn't have any of that in his bio.
Yeah, I had a despicable Instagram name too at one point, but it happens, man. Dante Fowler, man, 70 or Six God.
Yep. He got that early.
Incredible. I mean, that's incredible. So, but what I'll say, like even their huddles, right, which is crazy to me. I mean, Riley back in the day when he was a tight end and he didn't catch a single touchdown, which don't tell anyone I told you that, but his huddle was like on AC/DC, was like the background music, right?
And it was like 8 minutes long, probably.
Yeah, like 8 minutes long, just blocking dudes.
Some good still photos of him in the beginning. I love those.
Just being an athlete, right? And the first piece of advice we ever got, I believe, at the University of Florida throughout his recruiting process was you need to take all the music out, right? Any edits, take it out. Any, exclamation points, take them out. We just want to see your first name, last name, how to contact you.
We don't need to see a montage of you warming up pregame.
No, but just for instance, right? I get sent huddles and highlights every single day, and it kills me. And the biggest piece of advice, I have a block text I save. I send it to them, right? The same advice that coach gave us back in the day. Take out all the music. No one cares, right? You're not showing your whole, this isn't about fame or star power. It's about getting that first offer and turning that into the next offer and the next one until you're sattatisfied, right?
Another tip is to put the best plays first.
Oh, that's a great tip. And right. And
it's like, if you're a linebacker, the one time that you return a punt better not be in your first 5 plays.
No. And that's how it was for me. Like even my senior highlights, I played a bunch of defense at CCC, and the last game I played in high school was a 9 overtime game. I didn't show I didn't make a senior highlight, but B, like I would have barely showed any defense, right? You got to stick to what you're doing and what you're trying to do.
That's not what you're going to get recruited for. Most coaches will watch the first like 3 or 4 plays, and then they'll decide if they need to watch more. Put it that way.
Yep. And yeah, even looking at the process a little deeper, right? Like if you're being completely honest, it's not going to be a coach watching your film. It's going to be a GA or some type of analyst, right? That's been given you in a list that you might fit the mold of X, Y, and Z, right? In this list, in this position, that GA or analyst is going to find an obscure hour of the day or night. They're going to pop open their Thundercloud or Exos or Huddle or an Excel and just start typing and watching. And if it's not intriguing, if you're not dominating guys, then why even,
on to the next
highlight and send it to that coach. But I get it. I understand it. But it was cool to see that many CCC guys follow me on Twitter, right? And to see that they all had the same thing, right? The first pinned tweet was their huddle highlight that had no music behind it, no exclamation points. And it was a direct highlight with the intentions of being, actually analyzed and watched inside of a college.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I hope to see one day. Right? And I think when I was there at CCC, my dad made a promise to one of the coaches that once I'm done with football someday, right, that he'd come back and coach. So I need you to hold him to that, right?
Okay.
Because I know he'll just run away from it, right, and find something else to do, like woodworking or leatherworking. But I think he could do a damn good job. And while we're at it, I challenged my dad to write a book on the recruiting process. Because looking back, I did not deserve to be offered by, those schools like I did my freshman year, like Ohio State and all those other schools. I didn't deserve any of that. It was all based off of, frame, weight, being at least smart enough, having a good GPA and having size, and having my brother that was ahead of me that showed that size will be a reality. So, but yeah, he needs to write a book because you can't necessarily trust every high school football coach in the world to have the best interest for your son, especially if they aren't going to go Division I, especially if they don't have, the knack to continue playing football. Because I've seen so many guys burn out, man. I'm one of the last players that I know of, at least in my senior class, of guys I really knew going through high school. That's still playing football. And it's especially when you're talking about the number of guys that went Division I, Division II, or just went to a school just for fun and played some football. It's not a good feeling, right? But it's a serious subject. But at the same time, you should have those conversations early and often, right?
Definitely. And that's some good advice there in terms of putting together a highlight tape. You don't get that on every Big Man, Big Heart podcast.
Oh, no. No question. And if anyone has any questions, I mean, I love responding to kids, right? I love teaching guys and giving them some basic pieces of technique and advice. It's a similar process to what I'm going through right now, right? And trying to make these corrections that some of the higher powers in football have decided that I need to make before season. Right? It's a similar thing. If I can analyze someone's film and give them a few things to work on, or if they can ask a college coach, hey, coach, here's my film. What do I need to work on in order to, receive a scholarship or at least be considered, right? To show them that you're coachable. I mean, similar process I'm going through right now. And I like to, help people out and have those conversations when I can.
All right, Dillan. Well, it's been great to be back. We'll get on more of a regular schedule here as we get closer to the season. But I appreciate you for sitting down and getting everybody updated. We are excited to, as the season gets closer, just get ready to watch some Florida State football.
Oh, man. That's basically answering the question, too, right here. I'm so excited, man. We have a lot of really good football players. And if you go back and watch our film from a year ago and, highlight some of the areas of concern, they've been addressed, right? And there's no other excuse at this point for talent or personnel or development. I mean, we have a damn good football team, and we're going to go out there and, put it to work. Absolutely destroy some. I know. I'm excited, man. I'm just getting juiced up talking about it. I'm also juiced up for seeing you again. I mean, I miss you, man.
I miss you too. All right. Any other shout outs before we get out of here?
Who's the new Josh Newberg in Florida State football?
Woo! There's a couple guys that I like. I think Brendan Sinone's been doing a great job. I think he's kind of stepped up and has filled the void of a little breaking news. Obviously, the young gun, Zach Blostein, who I've been, getting ready for this position for about the last year and a half. He's going to step up. He's young. Got to give him some time. Ben Meyerson is another young name that I like out there. He's a student at Florida State who I believe works for Tomahawk Nation. And I think he does some really unique stuff. Yeah, Ben's a good dude. So there's some up and comers that I'm excited to see how they develop and kind of just the way that they create content in the Florida State market. I think it'll be a fun season for them.
It's gonna take multiple bodies to fill that Josh Newberg size hole in Florida State athletics.
Hey, what can I say? I'm not. I'm still here. Well, I'm here. I'm a Florida State fan, so I'm still involved in like watching and I'm gonna be around. Put it that way. Yeah. So,
and I have a bunch of guys here at Florida State that are eager to get on the podcast too. So I would appreciate anybody listening today, even you, Josh. Like if you want to talk to somebody, any of our new transfers, any of our guys currently on the offensive line, defensive line, any position group, please just let me know. Leave a comment down below on our YouTube, DM me on Twitter, comment on Twitter. Please reshare it and just let me know. I mean, I'll bring anybody on. They'd be more than willing to come on, share a few minutes of their time so we get to know them a little bit better. But I got to give a big shout out to Camping World. They've done a great job in supporting Big Man, Big Heart thus far. I know that some of the things that we have planned with them will be coming up here during the season. But they're going to provide some really unique opportunities to Florida State fans and supporters of Big Heart. So they've done an incredible job throughout this whole relationship. I don't have a lot of time in the world, right? But they're one of the companies I work with that is worth it, worth my time, worth my effort. And again, I can't thank them for supporting me enough and making the whole process, super easy.
All right. We will be back next week. Go Noles.
Look forward to it, brother. Go Noles.